Hey, sixth grade. I hope your week is off to a good start. Today is Tuesday, March 31st, 2020, and we will have library again on Thursday, and then you guys have your 2 week spring break. So, today we're going to be talking about plagiarism because I've noticed it throughout the classes I've taught this year, not just sixth grade, but fourth and fifth grade as well, that this can be a struggle for some people. So, I'm sure you've heard this before, but it's always important to review it and refamiliarize ourselves with plagiarism. So we're going to quickly look at this PowerPoint, and then we're going to watch a brain pop video, and then I have an assignment for you to do, and that will be all for today. Plagiarism and You, How to Earn an A+ Without Getting in Trouble. So I know this is something I always had a really hard time with when I was in school. It's really not easy to put things into your own words sometimes, but there can be really serious consequences if you're not following the guidelines. So let's take a look at this. What is plagiarism? The Oxford English Dictionary says it means to take and use as one's own the thoughts, writings, or inventions of another. So it's basically when you are copying someone else's words and saying that you're the one that said them. Why is it important to avoid plagiarism? Obviously, schools and colleges take plagiarism very seriously. If you are caught plagiarizing at CDS, there can be extreme consequences. And if you are caught plagiarizing in college, you could even be kicked out of the university. So it's really important to practice avoiding plagiarism at this age so that as we continue in school, we're not tempted to do these things. And you really need to treat this issue seriously. Obviously, all of your teachers want you to be successful, so we're always here to help you do your best writing and help you figure out how to avoid plagiarism when you're writing your papers. So one way to avoid plagiarism is to paraphrase, and so that's rewriting something in your own words. That's taking what the author is saying but kind of summarizing it and putting it in your own words. So we're not just cutting and pasting what someone else is saying or what someone else has already written and putting it into our essay and saying that you're the one that did it. You need to be able to paraphrase or summarize. Do not cut and paste. Like I just said, it is better to read the facts and put them in your own words. And then another benefit of paraphrasing is that you'll actually understand what you read because you're able to explain it. So that shows that you have a good understanding of the material. Another technique, if you're not interested in paraphrasing, is to follow the rules when copying directly from a text. So that's why we have things like bibliographies and citations. When you use a reference in the text, you must give all the information about the source. So you may need to put the name of the author, the date when it was published, the title, the publisher. Sometimes you have to put what page you found it on. So there's a lot of different rules that go along with citing sources, and that is something that we will talk about probably after spring break. So make sure you state your sources on a works cited page, or you may have heard it called a bibliography. We're really lucky that we live in a society that has a ton of technology, and we have things like EasyBib, Citation Maker. I used Citation Machine in grad school, and that was super helpful because it pretty much does the citing for you. So those are things to keep in mind when we're doing research. Finally, don't plagiarize. Follow these guidelines, and you will write a great report without plagiarizing. It's very, very, very important. And it is something that we need to continue to keep in mind throughout our careers at school. So now I'd like to show you this brain pop video. It's a little under 5 minutes, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next.
We're back with best-selling author and probable sociopath Moby Calrissian. Your recent book report on The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was largely stolen from online sources. Is there anything you'd like to say to the American public?
Another nightmare, huh? Maybe you just need to get something off your chest. Dear Tim and Moby, I know plagiarism is cheating, but sometimes it's hard to tell if I'm actually breaking the rules. Can you help me out? From Moira. Of course we can, Moira. Plagiarism is the act of submitting someone else's work as your own. You're never allowed to use the words or ideas of other people without giving them credit. This rule applies to all subjects and classes. It doesn't matter if you're doing a science project, a book report, or even making a piece of art. Well, some instances of plagiarism are pretty obvious. Say you have to write a paper on The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. You go online and find a great resource with lots of cool ideas about the book. If you copy some of the text from the site and paste it into your own paper, then hand it in just like that, well, that's a pretty clear violation. Yep, stealing from any type of source and claiming it as your own work is always plagiarism. That source could be a book, an article, an old paper your sister wrote, anything. When teachers give you assignments, they don't want you to just repeat and recap existing material or stuff you find online. They're trying to assess your understanding of the topics you're studying and see how well you can put your own original thoughts into writing. Plagiarizing someone else is like cheating off them on a test. Get caught and you'll probably get a 0 on the assignment. Or, if you're lucky, your teacher might let you rewrite it. In high school and college, punishments for plagiarism can be even more severe. You might fail the entire class, or get kicked out of school completely. It's not that you can't use magazines, books, encyclopedias, or their online versions. In fact, it's a good idea to consult all of those sources when doing papers and projects. But if you use someone else's words verbatim, meaning the exact same words, you need to put them in quotation marks. And you have to attribute or give credit to the author. One of the easiest ways to do this is to use phrases like according to, and then add the name of your source right after. Depending on the subject, teacher, or type of assignment, you might need to use footnotes or endnotes too. Those are more formal ways to credit your sources. Footnotes show sources at the bottom of a page, and endnotes list them after a specific section or at the conclusion of your report. Sometimes you might also be required to put together a bibliography. That's a comprehensive list of all the works you consulted while researching an assignment. I was just getting to that. Many examples of plagiarism aren't obvious cut and paste jobs. Unfortunately, a lot of students wind up plagiarizing by accident. If you're not careful, key ideas from a source can easily slip into your writing. Like here, the original sentence was, more than a scene-setting element, snow comes to symbolize death itself. And you wrote, Lewis uses the symbol of snow to represent death. You did a good job of paraphrasing the material, putting it into your own words. But the thing is, you're still using the same basic idea, that Lewis uses snow to symbolize death. It can be tricky untangling your own ideas from your sources, so when in doubt, give credit. There are a few other important tips to guard against plagiarism. When taking notes, put big quotation marks around all direct quotes, even if it's only a few words. And write the source next to every note you take, whether it's a website, book, or article. These are pretty straightforward strategies that can help you avoid getting into any trouble. What? No way! I totally did not lift that from your, blog. Huh. Must have gotten stuck in my head from when I first read it. It was so not on purpose.
Alright, so now that we've watched the video, remember you can go back and rewind this if you need to see a part of it again. But here's your assignment for today, called plagiarism. So you're watching this video lesson right now. So that's step 1. Make sure the next step is to complete the Google form. So as you can see, I did take questions from the BrainPop quiz, but I gave credit right here. Questions 1 through 6 taken from BrainPop. So that's how you know that I'm not plagiarizing. So there are 5 multiple choice questions, and then for number 6, I gave you an example here. This is the original source, and then this is what the student wrote in their essay. So I want you to tell me if you think this is plagiarized or not. And make sure if you say, no, it's not plagiarized, tell me why not. And sorry, my dog's drinking water in the background. So apparently she's very thirsty. And then if you think it is plagiarized, tell me why. If you think it's not plagiarized, tell me why it's not plagiarized. And then for number 7, there's a short answer question, and number 8 is also a short answer question. So that is all for today. If I did find this kind of goofy game that has to do with plagiarism, it involves goblins. So if you're interested, if you're bored and want to try something, you can. It's optional. It's just something fun to do. And I will have the Zoom open if you want to join, and if you just want to say hi, or if you have a question about our assignment for today. So thank you so much for your attention during this video. I hope you guys are having a great day, and feel free to email me or jump on Zoom if you have a question. Talk to you later. Bye.